Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Boston Marathon Bombings Chronicles, volume number 9. We left off at 6:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so let's go ahead 1 minute later to 6:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Dr. Schoenfeld says suspect came to hospital in critical condition and suffered a tremendous cardiac arrest. That's according to CNN. At 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fox News analysts are talking about how the suspects were throwing the explosives at police while being chased, and I already commented on that on page 14. First entry of the page at 4:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just had a brainstorm though. They keep showing a photo of Mr. White Hat at 7-Eleven that they were supposedly robbing before the carjacking. In that photo, he has no backpack. I reiterate, where are the extra bombs, IEDs, and pressure cooker bombs that Andrew Kitzenberg saw lit and thrown at police? I really wish I didn't recognize patterns so well, but if you think about this, the carjacking question begs the question, why would they need to carjack your car? That would beg the question that, did they have a car? And if they had a car, why wouldn't they just bail? If they didn't and they needed one, that would supply the carjacking theory, okay? But also at the same time, if they didn't have a vehicle previous to the carjacking, which we've never seen, okay, the only vehicle of theirs we've ever seen was the black SUV. We've never seen another vehicle or heard about another vehicle that they had previous to that, okay? So that begs the question, where are all these grenades, IEDs, and explosives coming from? I mean, a pressure cooker bomb, would take up most of the space in a backpack, but you see in the 7-Eleven picture, he has no backpack on. There's no backpack straps, on him. You cannot see a backpack, okay? So, that's the point I'm trying to make there. If they didn't have a vehicle and they needed a vehicle, they wouldn't have a place to have all the bombs and stuff, okay? So that begs I don't know if it begs the question, but it leads me to believe, like I mentioned earlier in a previous video, that the gentleman who was carjacked, who is now only known as DM in the grand jury indictment, may have been their CIA or FBI handler. And for those of you that know what that means, you already understand. And for those of you that don't know much about the FBI or the CIA, it should be pretty easy to read through the lines. And once again, I refer you to the New York Post and their article, FBI Hatches Most Terror Plots. Take a look out there. Add the words New York Post to that sentence and Google it, Bing it, or whatever you got to do. Find it, okay? And it'll make more sense when I call the carjacking victim his handler. So, that would beg the question of where did the fucking weapons come from if they weren't in a vehicle that held them, if they didn't have backpacks that held them, they must have been in the SUV, and the SUV was supposedly carjacked. I believe was their CIA or FBI handler that helped them, gave them their story, the narrative, told them, oh, shit's got fucking whacked out, we're gonna have to run this out, police are gonna try and get you down, blah, 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 blah. And basically giving them their story on the run. The weapons were already inside the vehicle. He's probably telling them that if they don't use these weapons that they're gonna fucking die, so out of fear they probably did use them. That's just a theory at that point, but you've got video footage from a local station where you can hear the guys shouting out, chill out, we didn't do it, chill out, we didn't do it, which will definitely be in the documentary. But until then, you have to take my word for it or Google it or YouTube it. Anyways, moving right along. At 6:16 Eastern Standard Time, Fox News analysts are asking, why didn't the suspects escape Boston? That's a good question. Remember I talked about the false positives, and when they saw their pictures all over the TV, they probably didn't think nothing of it because so many other pictures have been put on TV and the internet and all that good stuff. So they probably thought it was another false positive. In parentheses, I wrote, probably should refer to the New York Times article entitled FBI Hatches Most Terror Plots. Now, obviously that was a Fox News analyst that I was watching, but basically what you got there was my own private thought. At 6:18 Eastern Standard Time, the tape ticker at the bottom of the screen says, police say they found military-grade explosives in the street. Now, that's awfully funny because there weren't military-grade explosives at the Marathon Boston bombing, okay? See how that conflicts there a little bit, ladies and gentlemen? And how would these guys get a hold of it, you know? And then why do you never hear the story about how they got a hold of military-grade explosives? At 6:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. White Hat is shown wearing a plain white hat with no 7 or no 3. Remember, I told you this was going to keep coming up, and it will keep coming up. That was on Fox News at 6:19 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 6:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. White Hat's pic looks like the hat is photoshopped. I mean, it looks fake, and no number on the side of it. So the one that never has a number looks like it's actually photoshopped in, you know, however they do that shit. I'm not very familiar, but that was seen on Fox News at 6:20 a.m. That's a private thought of mine. Fox News did not report that the hat looked photoshopped. I'm saying that the photo they had on the screen looked photoshopped to me. At 6:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, they say that at 6:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, they report that at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that suspect 1 was announced dead and at the hospital. What if the FBI, so now here's a personal thought by me immediately afterwards, says, what if the FBI had gotten all the public videos and pics to cross-reference with facial recognition scanner technology to see if they had any notable people at the race, someone who had been under persecution of the authorities, much like the Tsarnaev brothers' mother. Quote, she has been right from the beginning saying that they had FBI handlers right from the get-go. You know, that they were being harassed by the FBI, corralled by the FBI, forced to do things they didn't want to do by the FBI. And moving right along, at 6:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. White Hat is shown in back-to-back photos. The first is a plain white hat. The next photo has a 7 on it that almost looks like a 2 or a Z. And that's on MSNBC at 6:32 Eastern Standard Time. At 6:38 Eastern Standard Time, they did not actually oh, this is a direct quote. This whole thing right here is a direct quote. So at 6:38 a.m., the correspondent was quoted as saying, they did not actually shoot and kill the first suspect. They drove over him, and when they discovered and got closer to his body, they found out that he had an IED attached to his body. That will definitely be on the documentary because that has nothing. When they say they imply the police. That the police ran him over. That was on MSNBC. Well, man, lots of talking to do these videos. I apologize for constantly clearing my throat and such, but what you see is what you get. You know, I'm not some pampered MSNBC, you know, pundit or correspondent that's getting, you know, my face powdered every couple minutes between commercial breaks. We're just going down to it. What you see is what you get, and let's just keep on moving. Okay, so 6:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have 2 men detained, sitting on a curb, handcuffed, with their backpacks being searched by bomb-sniffing dogs. Oh, and there's bomb-sniffing dogs as well. God damn it. That footage came from Fox News. And moving right along at golf drops. Probably should have popped one a little bit ago. But at 6:49 Eastern Standard Time, Fox says, let's pause. And you think that they're going to go to commercial break. This is fucking great. I love this. Fox says, let's pause. And you think that they're going to commercial break, but nothing happens, and the analyst comes back to say, and I quote, "We wanted to pause to go on delay, actually." That was on Fox News at 6:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Softly fishy stuff going on here with the time delay. Now that's the third time it's come up now. At 6:52 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. White Hat is identified, and both subjects. Let me start that over. I apologize. At 6:52 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mr. White Hat is identified, and both suspects are identified as brothers and Chechen. That's on Fox News. At 6:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, yet another hat on in a Mr. White Hat picture. A strap can be seen hanging loosely to his front left, my right if looking at the pic. This is being shown on Fox News at 6:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fox News is on like a 10-minute delay. At 7:08 Eastern Standard Time, reports are coming in that police are being brought in by the fucking busload. In parentheses, I write down that I can see 6 buses so far. And I'm getting that footage from Fox News. 10 minutes later, and this one's got a star next to it too, must be a good one. At 7:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Fox ticker shows weather for major cities. Boston is forecasted as cloudy and 72. And this, in parentheses I wrote, this will come up again in regard to air support. Notice that there's no, it's supposed to be cloudy, okay? It's supposed to be a decent day at 72 degrees. No rain or anything like that, so I mean, are they up there doing the chemtrail thing and seeding clouds? Because you'll see later, or maybe you remember personally, that it was raining within 2 hours after the suspect was caught. And I'll have footage of that as well in the documentary. So moving right along. At 7:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fox ticker shows, oh yeah, that's the weather thing. Just read that. Hey, that's the first time I've done that, so after 9 videos, I'm pretty happy about that. So moving along, at 7:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a reporter comments on how eerie quiet it is. All you can see is police and media. The only thing open is a Dunkin' Donuts on the corner. And then in parentheses I wrote this: "She really said that, LOL. You can't make this shit up." And that was reported on MSNBC. At 7:24 in the same minute, MSNBC also reports that lockdown on the ground and in the air. There's no chopper shot to show you because they will not allow anything in the area, both on the ground and above. So now that speaks. It's not weather, it's the FAA. See what I'm saying here? They don't want you to find. Imagine getting aerial footage of them fucking planting evidence or destroying evidence or transporting the patsy where they want him and things of that nature. It's really. We live in America, guys. We're about to start page 24, but as you can see, right down here, right down there, we're over 14 minutes, guys. So, as usual, I bid you adieu. I thank you for tuning in. Like I already know, this has been a long haul. We're already going into over 2 hours of footage of just me talking, of just me reading you my notes on everything that happened the night of martial law, or as they like to call it, shelter in place. But let's go ahead and get ready. We're about to start at the top of page 24, so we've only got 3 pages of notes left, and I'll see you in about 2 clicks away.